hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. With the third season of House of the Dragon now in production, we are learning some interesting information about Season 2 as a whole, and why it felt incomplete. As recently, Season 2 director Alan Taylor has spoken out and confirmed that Season 2 was originally supposed to have 10 full episodes, and how he himself was originally slated to direct Episode 9, which would have featured the massive Battle of the Gullet, a battle that we are now going to be getting at the beginning of Season 3. And in turn confirming a long-awaited rumor that House of the Dragon Season 2 was indeed cut short. After all, looking back at the 8 episodes we got in Season 2, it does have a bit of an incomplete feeling, with the story ending on a massive anticlimactic note at the end of Episode 8, leaving many fans to wonder if there were 2 episodes that simply got cut off of the season, which we are now learning was exactly the case. Alan Taylor also went on to confirm that he was originally slated to direct Episode 9 in Season 2, which most likely would have featured the massive Battle of the Gullet, and how once the season got cut down from 10 episodes to 8 episodes, he was left playing musical chairs in terms of which episodes he was going to direct from that point forward, with him landing Episodes 1 and 4 ultimately. And now with Season 3 officially beginning with the Battle of the Gullet according to Ryan Condal, I'm left to wonder why exactly they're not bringing Alan Taylor back to direct the episode. After all, the director list has been released for the 8 episodes that we are going to be getting in Season 3, and Alan Taylor's name is suspiciously left off of it, along with Geeta V. Patel as well, 2 of the best directors from the first 2 seasons. Geeta herself, of course, was famously known for directing Season 1, Episode 8, The Lord of the Tides, which featured the phenomenal final performance of Paddy Considine as King Viserys, which in my opinion is still the best episode of House of the Dragon ever produced, and is widely regarded as a massive fan favorite. But for some unknown reason, Geeta V. Patel will not be returning for Season 3, and nor will Alan Taylor by the looks of it, who also directed one of the fan-favorite episodes in Season 2 as well, Episode 4 entitled The Red Dragon and the Gold, which featured the massive Battle of Rook's Rest and the death of Princess Rhaenys, a famous event from the books that serves as a catalyst that propels the rest of the Dance of the Dragons going forward, very much like the Battle of the Gullet, an episode that would have been perfectly suited to Alan Taylor's skill set, as he is very well versed in directing very big moment episodes in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, like his stint on the original Game of Thrones series when he directed the episode where Ned Stark lost his head, and of course the massive big battle of Blackwater Bay that takes place in Season 2 as well. Both on paper and in practicality, there seems to be no better choice than Alan Taylor to direct the Battle of the Gullet, which makes it a little bit strange to say the least considering he's not returning for Season 3 at all. After all, the Battle of the Gullet will most likely go down as the biggest episode ever filmed on House of the Dragon, an episode that would be set to feature hundreds of different warships and multiple different dragons wreaking havoc all at once, and ends up being referred to as the biggest naval battle in the history of Westeros. So it'll be interesting to see what the show is planning on doing with such an adaptation, especially considering some of the changes that the show has made to the source material, making it highly likely that the Battle of the Gullet on the TV series is going to look a little bit different than it did in the books. In Fire and Blood, the Battle of the Gullet is a massive sea battle that takes place not far from Driftmark and Dragonstone, between the forces of the Triarchy, who are in service to the Greens, versus Jace and the newly minted Dragon Seeds. The battle begins when a ship carrying young Aegon and young Viserys sails right into the oncoming Triarchy fleet, resulting in the capture of young Viserys, with Aegon barely managing to escape on the back of his dragon, but not before his dragon takes multiple different arrows and dies upon reaching Dragonstone. And upon hearing that his younger brother has been taken captive, Jace mounts up along with the rest of the Dragon Seeds and head off the Triarchy in hopes of rescuing his younger brother Viserys. But given some of the changes that the TV series has made to the source material, it looks like the beginning of this battle is going to look a little bit different on screen than it did in the books, as the TV series has significantly aged down Viserys and Aegon the Younger, to the point where young Aegon is not nearly big enough to ride his dragon Stormcloud at this point, with even the dragon still being a hatchling on the show. which will likely result in Aegon and Viserys both being captured by the Triarchy on the show, while somebody else from the ship manages to escape and head back to Dragonstone to warn Jace and Rhaenyra. And then, of course, there is the absence of Nettles. Nettles is a fan-favorite dragon seed from Fire and Blood who has been suspiciously missing from House of the Dragon up until this point. And based on the Season 2 finale, it looks like we're not going to see her at all, as Rhaena appears to have claimed Nettles' dragon, Sheepstealer, making it likely that Nettles' part is going to be given to Rhaena, including her part in the Battle of the Gullet. The Battle of the Gullet itself will go down as one of the bloodiest battles in the history of Westeros, and leaves untold damage in its wake, with multiple ships and hundreds of lives being lost. Jace and the Dragon Seeds eventually meet the Triarchy fleet in the open water as they begin burning down ship after ship very successfully, until, unfortunately, one of the ships in the Triarchy fleet looses a scorpion bolt towards Jace's dragon Vermax and manages to strike the dragon, taking it down, with the dragon itself crashing into the rigging of a sinking galley, dragging it to the bottom of the ocean. Jace manages to successfully dismount from his dragon before it hits the water, but unfortunately he becomes surrounded by the Triarchy fleet as they loose dozens of arrows into him, killing him instantly, causing the death of Rhaenyra's eldest son and heir to the Iron Throne. An ironic twist of fate, if nothing else. As Rhaenyra sends the dragons out to try and rescue her youngest son, she ends up losing her eldest son. The Battle of the Gullet really does have everything a Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon fan could look for in a heart-pounding episode, from the fast-paced and high-flying action to the heartfelt loss of Rhaenyra's son, an episode that almost seems tailor-made for Alan Taylor himself, no pun intended. So to see that he is not only not directing this episode but not returning at all for Season 3 definitely has me wondering. After all, when Alan Taylor was brought on in Season 2, it wasn't just merely to direct, as he has recently pointed out. He was also brought on to maintain continuity between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, as HBO apparently wanted someone a little bit more seasoned in the world of Game of Thrones now that Miguel Sapochnik had departed. So to see him go from one of the main directors and continuity maintainers to nothing at all in Season 3 is a little bit strange. But if nothing else, it certainly seems like House of the Dragon Season 3 is setting up to be quite an interesting spectacle. With the Season 2 finale feeling incomplete and having left fans divided, on top of the new confirmation that we are now getting that we were indeed supposed to get 10 full episodes, it'll be interesting to see if House of the Dragon can win any of these fans back, and redeem themselves after a lackluster Season 2 finale. But definitely leave your thoughts and comments down below. Did you enjoy the Season 2 finale, or did you feel it was a little bit incomplete, and are you looking forward to Season 3? But that is going to do it for the latest news coming out of House of the Dragon. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content. And as always, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.
House of the Dragon is back in production. Here we are on day 1 of Season 3.
I will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of a sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.